Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of modern India's most chilling mysteries. We're talking about a case that didn't just shock the nation, it shocked the entire world. We're going to be looking at a tragedy where the physical, cold, hard forensic evidence points to a deeply unsettling truth, one that continues to spark debate, even years later.
So picture this scenario for a second. Have you ever imagined an entire family just vanishing? And not because of, a sudden robbery or some tragic car accident, but because they were found dead inside their own home, standing in complete, absolute silence. It's a scenario that completely defies human logic, right?
11. Literally 11 members of the exact same family. We're talking about 3 whole generations living right there under one roof, all gone in a single morning on July 1st, 2018. It's a number that immediately elevates this from a horrible tragedy to a profound, almost unbelievable mystery. How does something like this even happen? Well, to understand that, we first have to understand who we're actually dealing with.
Section 1. The perfect family.
The timeline here is just so jarring. On June 30th, the Bhatia family, who, by the way, were super well-known and respected in their North Delhi neighborhood of Burari, were living their standard, everyday lives. They owned a local grocery shop, a plywood business, and they were very financially stable. In fact, just hours before the tragedy, they actually attended a family wedding celebration. They smiled, they laughed, they mingled, totally normal, right? But then, just hours later, before sunrise on July 1st, their grocery shop didn't open. And that single broken routine, that led to a horrifying discovery.
Section 2. The impossible scene.
So around 7 a.m., a really concerned neighbor noticed the closed shop, walked right up to the house, found the main entrance entirely unlocked, and stepped inside. And what they saw was literally the stuff of nightmares. 10 family members were hanging from an iron mesh in the ceiling of the central hall. Their eyes were covered, their mouths were sealed shut with cloth, their hands were tied behind their backs. It was this bizarre, methodical arrangement that immediately sparked sheer terror. But here's the really weird part. The family's 77-year-old grandmother, Narayan Devi, wasn't hanging like the rest. She was found lying completely peacefully on her bed.
Section 3. The forensic pivot.
Now, when investigators started analyzing the forensic evidence, it painted a vastly different, almost impossible picture. Listen to this. There were absolutely no signs of forced entry. None. The locks were entirely intact, no broken doors, no damaged windows. And if this was some sort of violent robbery, why were all the family's valuables, the cash, the jewelry, left completely untouched? Plus, forensics discovered absolutely no unknown fingerprints in the house and literally zero signs of a violent struggle. The forensic evidence flawlessly showed no signs of external entry or violence. It pointed to the terrifying reality that whatever happened in that house involved only the family themselves.
Investigators actually noted that every detail seemed strangely organized. The chairs used by the victims were neatly placed. Religious items in the home were arranged so carefully, nothing looked random or chaotic. The complete lack of a struggle and this intense, meticulous organization, it strongly suggested a massive amount of premeditation.
Now, as you can imagine, this created a really jarring contrast between the noise of the public and the cold, hard facts. When the media first caught wind of the story, rumors spread like wildfire across TV and social media. People suspected a brutal mass murder, a robbery gone horribly wrong, or even black magic and supernatural forces. But the forensic reality stood firm. No struggle, intact locks, untouched valuables. The forensic evidence firmly ruled out outsiders. But if it wasn't an intruder, what on earth was it? Well, that brings us to a massive turning point in the case.
Section 4. The diary revelations.
While searching the house, forensic teams uncovered something that was a real game-changer. Hidden away, they found multiple handwritten notebooks. We're talking hundreds of pages of detailed entries written over several years. And as they read them, this chilling realization set in. The instructions in these diaries weren't just spiritual notes, they were a precise blueprint. The writings detailed mysterious guidance that closely, almost exactly, mirrored the horrifying positions in which the family members had been found.
So you've got to wonder, how does an entire family just agree to something like this? Well, it all comes down to one person, Lalit's influence. According to the investigation, the diary entries revealed that after recovering from a serious illness years earlier, a trusted family member, Lalit Bhatia, claimed he was actually receiving guidance from his late father's spirit. Over time, his supposed spiritual experiences slowly commanded the complete unwavering faith of the entire household. It was this gradual, insidious buildup of influence, and just like that, the entire focus of the case officially shifted.
Section 5. a psychological mystery.
So now we've moved from a standard criminal investigation into an unprecedented study of shared beliefs. This psychological descent didn't happen overnight. It built up over years. It all started with Lalit's recovery and his claims of spiritual guidance. Over time, the family totally bought in, adopting detailed rituals for peace, progress, and protection. Then we hit June 30th. They go to a wedding, behaving completely normally, which just goes to show how deeply compartmentalized this whole belief system really was. Finally, the morning of July 1st, the final ritual. But here is the absolute kicker. Based on the writings, experts concluded the family likely did not view this as an ending. They believed they were participating in a ritual for protection and salvation. Experts actually suggest they fully expected divine intervention to save them at the very last moment. They expected to survive.
You know, there's a saying, the darkest mysteries don't hide in abandoned buildings. They hide behind ordinary doors. The Burari case is such a terrifying reminder of how powerful shared belief can really become. It shows us, plain as day, that extraordinary, dangerous ideas can thrive completely undetected inside an outwardly perfect, financially stable, and highly respected family living an ordinary life.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. While the forensic evidence flawlessly ruled out outsiders and proved without a doubt that this was the family's own doing, driven by powerful psychological influence, what exactly went through their minds in those final moments? Did everyone truly believe they were going to be saved? Did anyone have second thoughts before it was too late? The ultimate secret of what really happened inside the Burari house on that final night vanished forever with those 11 people. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, stay curious.